when Kurri Kurri Local Court sat in late June 2025, there were a number of cases which were set for a hearing at Cessnock Local Court. Kurri isn't set up for hearings, hence why it happens over at Cessnock. And Kurri and Cessnock are part of the same court circuit with the same magistrate. So as the court goes through the logistics of these hearings, we can sometimes get insights into the legal system. First case off to Cessnock for a hearing is interesting because we may see the evidence get questioned. Remember, evidence must meet the evidence rules or won't be allowed to be used in court. We hear the only evidence the prosecution will be submitting is police body-worn footage. There's no statements or witnesses, etc. Police body-worn footage can be good evidence, but it can also be subject to objections. For example, if the police don't correctly caution the person and then the footage goes on to capture the person confessing to the crime, it may not be allowed to be used. So if this is the only evidence the prosecution has to prove the elements of the offence beyond reasonable doubt and it can't be used, then we may see charges withdrawn and the case dismissed. Second case going to a hearing involves multiple complainants, one of which is a child. I noticed the court made an effort to set the hearing date during the school holidays. By the way, you can't observe when the child complainant gives evidence. The court must be closed to the public. Third case was two co-accused who sat side by side in the defendant's chairs as they set their hearing. No idea what they're accused of, as it wasn't said out loud. And I'm going to guess that they're probably brothers. They have agreed to a joint hearing. We hear that there are 3 witnesses for the prosecution and 3 witnesses for the defence. That's all good. So what insights do we, the community, get in this case? The 2 co-accused had the same defence solicitor representing them at this mention in June. By the time the hearing comes around in October, they will need separate defence solicitors. My understanding is that having separate legal representation isn't expressly written into the law, rather it's because of ethics and solicitors. Yes, solicitors have to follow the solicitor's conduct rules. In my opinion, the court is probably very keen to see that the interests of both the co-accused are represented. So with only one solicitor, there is a possibility of representing the interests of one defendant more than the other. Therefore, it's common practice to have separate defence solicitors to avoid conflicts of interest. It's a reminder that hearings need to be fair and that there are many rules around this.